Friends, I just want to introduce you to Dr. Daniel Sheeste. He'll share his testimony this morning, and he'll tell you more about where he came from, who he was, and who he is now in Christ. He'll tell us more about being extreme for a dead God, coming from darkness to light, coming from the dead to life. He'll share about his family, what the Lord has done in their lives as well. And we are privileged to have somebody who knows Islam from beginning to the end, who knows Christendom from the beginning to end. One who has read the scriptures, has read the Quran, can interpret and can give us facts. And that's the main thing I've heard in the past two days, that he can engage in a conversation with anybody and give them facts. And the fact is that Jesus and the Father and the Holy Spirit is the only true God. Thank you for being here, Brother Daniel, for your time and being obedient to the Father. And we're looking forward to this week, and may the Father bless you immensely. Let's just pray. Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, I consecrate Daniel to you in this very moment. That you will bless him, that you will guide him, and that you will lead him. That his words will be your words. That what he's saying will only glorify your name. And that's what I've heard the past 2 days, is everything to the glory of God. And may this morning be that in essence. We glorify your name, Father, Son, and Spirit. Amen.
Amen. Thank you so much. Yes, I did. Wonderful to be here. Thank you so much for giving this chance to me here to speak about His amazing grace in our life. You're going to listen to a man that one day, with his friends, wanted to establish their revolutionary army in Iran, go and capture Israel, and take Islam to the end of the world. But in a mighty way, he changed my life and my family's life. Not only he changed us, but he has been using us in a mighty way. And that's the Lord Jesus, when he changes you for a purpose. Not just to have a car or a house and a good life, but to use you too. That's what he is doing us. We are so thankful to him that he brought us from darkness to this stage that we can talk to millions of people and millions of Muslims in the world. So I'm going to give you a brief of my testimony to you today. Okay.
Ewel Ednel se ouers, paas julle kind het julle gou vandag nodig, asseblief, dankie. Sorry, dankie.
Giving you a brief on my testimony today. This is the country Iran I have come from. It's the old Persia. It's mentioned in the Bible, this country. It's the country of the prophet Daniel and Esther. Their tombs are still in Iran, and Esther was the queen of Persia. You remember that? I have come from the northern part of Iran, by the Caspian Sea here. Born in a Muslim family. My father had 2 wives and 12 children. They were all living together. But I was a good student, and therefore, consequently, I became involved with religious things a lot. And my parents encouraged me to learn Islamic rituals and memorized the Quran. And I became a famous boy from the early age. I was 9 years old. I was invited to different religious ceremonies to perform Islamic rituals and to recite the Quran in the area I was living. Since I was very much involved with learning Islam, so I learned from childhood that Islam should be the dominant religion in the world. All other religions must be wiped out. And Muslims, all Muslims in one way or the other must take part in the war against all other beliefs. That's called jihad. We didn't know anything about Christianity, but if you read the Quran and Islamic tradition, you will understand that the Prophet of Islam went to a church for 28 years, and he started from a church. His wife actually was a convert, and his cousin was the priest of the church in Mecca. He was a convert as well. He was a pagan. So he later on, through an arranged marriage, found this lady, they got married, and he went to church also for about 28 years. It was a traditional church. And so when you read the Quran, you can see something of Christianity and Judaism. And even there are two priests named, the priest of Syria or Antioch, named in the Quran, and the priest of the church of Mecca. So we learned as Muslims that Islam is the continuation of Judaism and Christianity. Moses and Jesus were unable to finish the task of God, and so God changed Muhammad to finish it. So that's what we learned. That's what normally Muslims, moderate or committed Muslims, they know. But I knew a little bit more than them, because I was very much interested in Iranian classical poetry and mystic philosophy. So I learned that great Iranian scholars and poets admired Jesus highly. For example, one of them is a very famous Iranian poet and philosopher from 13th century, Maulana. His books are translated in English, and he said, "Die at the feet of Jesus as I died completely." So he was a Sufi type person, and I didn't know really why they were admiring Jesus so much, not Muhammad. So I knew a little bit more than them. After I entered university, everything then later changed. But that was the knowledge we had about, Christianity. But I have stories with Jesus, amazing stories. It started in my life from the age of almost 12, that some stories, some dreams and visions. I just remembered because Eric pushed me the day before to tell here that story. Maybe that, encourages you. My first story with Jesus started while I was in grade 7 in the school. I was around 12 years old. One day we had a sport class. We went, our teacher led us to the playground to play something with each other. He didn't give us any plan. We needed to find something to play. We 7 boys got together because it was a boys' school, and trying to find a game and play with each other. One of the boys said he knew a game. He jumped and took paper from his notebook, tore it, and then tore it into 7 pieces, because we were 7 boys together. And he wrote something inside each. and folded them and came to us and rolled them very well and said to us, this is the game. Each one of us going to take one and open in turn. The things written inside each, he says, it speaks about our future. So we each took one, and in a friendly way, we were arguing, fighting with each other, who should open first or second or third or the last one. So I was the last one, opened mine. The first one opened, there was written, you'll become a teacher in the future. So we tried to make our time fun with each other. We jumped, clapped and raised our voices. The second one, you'll be a doctor. The other one, an engineer or a governor, something like that. And each opened, the excitement was there because we were trying to make our time fun with each other. Now it is my time now. I need to open. I was thinking that mine would be the best. Why? Because I was more righteous than them. In Islamic belief, if you're more righteous than others, you get the best of everything. And if you read the Quran, that the Prophet of Islam owns the best of everything. He wants everything he wants, he can have it. And even one day he desired to have his own daughter-in-law. And the wife of the son, adopted son, that's in Quran chapter 33. And that happened. So the most righteous Muslims desires to have everything. And they have so often sovereign power over anything. So I was thinking mine would be the best. So I opened mine, there was written, you'll become a follower of Jesus Christ. But that was not the best, that was the ugliest one I could have. Because as a Muslim, it is ugly to be a Christian, to be a follower of Jesus Christ. So that angered me, and I attacked that boy. And I caught him punching on his face and body, and he started to cry. Other boys worried, and they came to release him from my hand. I was just mad. I was hitting them too. How dare he could write that for a righteous Muslim man. So while I was hitting him, he shouted over me. That's what Islam has taught you. If somebody attacks you, shout, scare people. So he shouted over me. He said, did I write it for you? I mixed them very well. We took before you because you were fighting to take the last one. I didn't put in your hand. We took before you. We could have taken that. It's your problem. It's your future. Don't blame me. My little conscience told me, yeah, he's right. He didn't put in my hand. I took it. Anyhow, I gave up killing him, but I did not play with them anymore. So I withdrew. I went in a corner, crying there, dealing with my problem. That wouldn't be good if they go and talk to their parents. So that was the first thing happened in my life. And it came to be true. Glory be to his name. So I am here by his grace speaking. It's his grace that changed my life. I entered university. In the university, the life changed. I became a radical Muslim. I became angry at the ruling king because I was really a good student. Almost all of my marks are A+, and sometimes I, make fun with my children. I say, if you need a photocopy, I can give you a photocopy of them. so I was really a sharp student in the university, but very poor. My parents were unable to support me. I had saved some money through my study in the high school, but that's gone. So it pushed me to sleep under a bridge in the capital city, Tehran. That made me angry at the ruling king, that Iran is a rich country, why I should sleep under the bridge. So you see, in this case, you can be drawn by any group. I was drawn by him. Became his follower. Now I know philosophically that there is a God in the world because I was very much interested in philosophy, and also I told you the mystic philosophy. Mystic philosophy also goes to other philosophies, so I knew there was a God there, but I didn't know Islam by leadership, by political philosophy, by ethic, by other things deeply. In Islam, you just learn. You are born as a Muslim, that's it. So I became his follower. He was against the king of Iran for a different purpose, a reason. The king of Iran accepted Israel as a country. Any king accepts Israel as a country or anyone, that person is an infidel and must be killed. So he hated the king of Iran because of Israel. I hated the king of Iran because of economic, social problem. So we united with each other, and gradually his ideas absorbed us, really, drew us very, highly. So we fought against the king of Iran very madly, and the king of Iran, escaped from the country, and the country fell into our hand, and we started to rule the country by Islamic law. Because I was one of those famous boys, this is me here, I became famous while I was doing in my army service. I left the army and, just to weaken the army. That made me a famous boy. Then after the revolution, I was one of the 3 invited to start the revolutionary army in Iran. Iran had a great general army equipped by American principles, but committed Muslims never trust the general army because general army members, many of them are patriots, they love their country. Islamic army must be an army that, if necessary, the soldiers to kill his mom and dad and brothers and uncles. So I was one of them, and the goal of army was to prepare Iranian young boys and girls with Islamic, with fighting and terrorist and suicide bombing tactics and techniques and all, and then go to capture Israel and do terrorist work in other parts of the world. I don't need to tell you, you have heard a lot of things about terrorism. And terrorism, it's really from Islam. If you read the Quran, the word terrorism is inside the Quran. Quran chapter 9, verse 123 says, a righteous Muslim is a terrorizing person. And so, because Islam is not a nice religion for you to hug Islam. If you read the Islam calls you animal, worst of beasts. You don't say to Muslim leaders, I'm really happy you call me animal, I want to become a Muslim. So they need power, they need pressure. So I don't want to go in it, I just want to speak about the glory of Jesus today. So I'm running forward. And so I was, partly involved in it, and then went to my hometown. I became an opposition, went to my hometown. There I started to do my own idea, prepare young boys and girls, and also serve my own nation in my hometown. And this is me actually in a mountainous area. We have gone there preparing our young boys and girls. And this is another one, teaching them how to use weapons. That's me there. And this is my wife. I couldn't bring her here. I thought maybe that she scared you. She was the most aggressive girl among all other girls. I said, wow, this is mine. It's true, really religious leaders admire angry boys and girls because they are the one who finish the job. And so for the same interest we got married. This is our wedding day. You see how excited they are? Now, exciting is part of Middle Eastern culture. that cannot be ignored. You know, especially Iranian culture is very noisy culture, like Greek culture. You know, there's only one difference. Greeks, they break their plates, but Iranians admire their plates. But when you're a committed Muslim, you have to always show serious face because you need to frighten people. Possibly you understand it because it is so sad. I hear that Christians are afraid from Muslims. It is so sad. You know, the gospel says the perfect love casts fear. They are like us humankind, you know. We also can escape people if we do not have Jesus in our life. Anyhow, but that's their culture. I was teaching my followers how to become angry. Quite different to what gospel teaches you. Because you have to be angry in order to be able to attack others and kill others. But that's why we are not smiling. This is after our marriage. This is our first child, our eldest daughter. She is not covered like my wife because our age. You cover your daughters because of, you know, from the age of 7, because the age of 7 is the age of marriage in Islam. So if your daughter and your granddaughter is 7, she's ready for a man 20, 30, 80. The Prophet of Islam was 49. He got married with a little girl called Aisha at the age of 6. The marriage was consummated at the age of 9, some say 8. So child marriage is still popular in Islamic countries. Just go to the website and click their child marriage. Your heart will be broken. Maybe that pushes you to pray for them. And on those little beautiful girls, because many of them die, many of them become disabled. When they become disabled, their organ pipes, they mix with each other, they smell, they cannot live in the community. They have to be pushed out somewhere. And committed Muslim leaders say it's the problem of the girls. Allah wouldn't make any mistake. You know? Anyhow, this is my family, the little one not yet there. This is me here. Here I was really in opposition to the grand leader. Opposition in Islam means death. Opposition means you have to have power to be opposition. But we thought we had power. We became opposition to the grand leader because he was a liar. He lied. You know, lying is part of Islamic belief. You can tell lie for the spread of Islam. You can tell lie to get to power to spread Islam. They are Islamic law. They are Islamic ethics. The Quran in chapter 8, verse 30 says Allah is the best of deceivers. Why? Because Allah needs deception to spread His kingdom. And justify means. That's just, you know, communism also was using it. So we became opposition to him because he promised Iranians freedom. Lie. He promised Iranians to benefit from the petrol money, especially to me. That was lie. Because he sent the money to Syria and Palestinian, forgot his own nation. And also, nobody was able to criticize him, was taken to prison, tortured, and killed. We said we are going to kill and lose our country, so it's better for us to be opposition. Anyhow, this opposition won. We won the government. One of my colleagues became the president of the country with over 80% of people vote. But that angered Ayatollah Khomeini. He was the supreme leader and chief commander of the Revolutionary Army. And then he attacked the president, wanted to kill him. President escaped. The government was demolished. Some were able to escape, some were killed. I was one of them, caught and put in a cell waiting on death sentence with 4 others. All 4 were killed, but I am here by declaration. You remember that ballot? My escape story is too long, 1.5 hours. Very painful, powerful. You can see the power I got there. You need to read my book. I haven't brought any copy. I mean, they're in Amazon, I don't know. So, by the help of some friends who put their life in danger, they released me temporarily. I was able to escape from Iran to Turkey. In Turkey also life was not easy, dangerous, because Iranian terrorists are always in Turkey. They kill fugitive politicians or opposition. So I kept quiet, didn't want to do anything with Iranians, lived, far away from them. Turkish is my mother language. My mother is an Iranian Turk, so it's not difficult. I learned the differences. I prepared myself, entered university to do my doctorate. See how mighty God is leading my step. I never thought about that. Now in the university, my doctorate is about international management, but with my supervising professor, we chose a subject for my major, for my specialty. That was how religion and culture impacts human attitude. Because that's very important in business area. What does that mean? That means I had to read all world's major religions deeply, and philosophies like Confucianism or communism, socialism, New Age, compare all of them together and see how do they affect people's attitude. Your belief does affect your attitude. Absolutely. So that was my job. Now for 32 years I was taught that Islam was the best religion in the world. Perfect religion in the world. Last religion actually. Any religion comes after Islam, that's, offensive to Islam. And that's why they really want to kill any Islamic religion comes after Muhammad. So I started to compare it, but here the mindset is, I will find good things about Islam. To my surprise, Islam manifested itself the worst of all religions. To my shock. It is shocking. For 32 years, they're just reading to your mind, Islam is the best. I found that every religion, even paganism, is better than Islam. Socially speaking, politically speaking, paganism is better than Islam. Because paganism says, you're God. I mean, that's a little bit respect. But Islam calls you animal. Especially when it comes to decision making, you don't have any authority to decide when Muhammad has decided for you. Since Muhammad has decided for your Allah. And I was really amazed by Christian values. In every aspect of life. And that's my cry today. And I pray to the Lord, Lord, open the minds of your children in the churches to understand you in every way. You will be amazed, really, if you start to understand Christ philosophically, doctrinally, socially, politically, as well as, salvation. That's the truth, the central truth. But when you understand, you'll hug him so firmly. You will be amazed. I was amazed really by the values of Christ. Freedom, leadership, it's just amazing. The Western countries prospered because of the leadership value of Jesus Christ. I don't have time to talk to you, but possibly you come to my meetings in the nights and possibly I'll reveal some of the things to you. Amazing things. Freedom. No other religion or philosophy in the world has freedom. They speak about freedom. They speak about freedom, but no freedom. Socialism doesn't know what freedom is. It's a random philosophy. Hinduism, Buddhism, even they call you God, that doesn't know freedom. Because when they call you God, your God, that means you do not need him, he doesn't need you. Freedom only makes sense in relationship, not in individualism, in an absolute individualism. So, I have many yummy things to tell you about Jesus, but later, I was amazed about everything, especially leadership. The most successful businesses in the world, of which many hate Christ. Most successful businesses in the world are following the leadership model of Jesus Christ. Otherwise, they cannot make a penny. I was really blown away. Oh, wow. But of course, that didn't make me a Christian. It's just the knowledge, understanding. But something then personally happened to me. I was also a partner of a man who had a little business. He invited me to put my money with his little capital large. He was an Iranian Muslim. He was a refugee there too in Istanbul. So I did. After a while, he took all my money and he escaped to Germany. I couldn't chase him legally because the business was under his name. I just simply trusted him. That shattered my life, almost all my money, around $30,000, big money in the Middle East. I was hoping to do that with it, something for my family in the future, but gone, painful. One day I was so sad, I didn't know what to do. I remembered that there were some Christians coming to him sometimes. I said to myself, "Hi, what if I go to their church? Ask them, maybe they give me some opinion." So I went to their church for the first time, scary, because a Muslim shouldn't go to a church. Now it's a fugitive Muslim especially shouldn't go to a church. I have escaped from a death sentence. I don't want to make another one here for myself. But the money was big, pushed me to go. I entered the church, I was shocked. They were playing music there. Music is illegal in Islam, especially in a worship place. That was shocking to me. You know, more shocking, there were a few ladies singing to men. Ladies can sing to men? It scared me politically. Why? I thought maybe one Iranian spy comes and sees me here. That's a good excuse for Iranian government to destroy your entire tribe. Because sin in Islam is not individual, it's your families and tribe. Government used that as an excuse, goes to your family and says, this is the time for you to kill. If you don't kill, I'll destroy your family. So that's why I was scared. They are singing, I'm scared. So they are all standing, excited, exciting people, you know, they are excited. But I sat behind everybody close to the main door. I said, if something strange happens, I can run out. Nothing happened. They came and welcomed me very warmly. I shared my story with them. And they became so sad that this man had betrayed me because they had helped him. They promised me to find him. They had many friends in Germany. They encouraged me to keep in touch with them. If they found any news, they would be able to share it with me. So that caused me to go to church Sunday after Sunday. For my money, I'm not really thinking about Jesus. Because only Sunday they were free there. Only Sunday I could see them. There was not a cell phone to call them. I even didn't have a phone. So I had to go and see them to obligate them to chase it. So I heard their messages about God. Their message about God really was amazing. I never knew the philosophy of God in the Bible is different to the philosophy of all other gods. They were saying that God in the Bible is the personal God. That's not the case with any other religion. All other religions are following Greek philosophy. God is impersonal. He doesn't have any personality. What does that mean? That means He cannot have personal relationship with you. I never knew that. My mind started to think, they're right, if God is not personal, how He can create a personal being? That's impossible, because only personal being can have mind. Impersonal, or in other words, non-personal, doesn't have any brain, mind. You cannot attribute any brain to that person. If God doesn't have mind, therefore He doesn't have image. If He doesn't have image, He cannot draw there. He cannot plan there. If He doesn't have plan, then He doesn't have any plan to put into practice. Therefore, that impersonal God cannot create. God must be personal only to be able to create. I said, this is yummy. This is so powerful. Wow. So you see how God is encouraging me. And then after a while I had a dream. I don't have time to tell you. I've got 5 minutes. I went to the church. I heard my dream from there. That was amazing. I was shocked. So that dream, their teachings, my study in the university, all encouraged me to read their book. I grabbed the New Testament. New Testament is the mightiest God philosophy book among all other religions put in the world. New Testament not only reveals God to you, but puts your hands in the hands of God, unites you with God, reveals God to you. You see, you become marveled, amazed of His beauty, and then open the house of your door of your house, and He comes in. The other guy rushes out. Why? Because they don't like each other. They cannot live with each other in one room. When God comes, Satan goes. Now your heart is occupied by God. You can't say, if God is with me, who is against me? Amazing. So I read the gospel twice. I said, I have to give my heart to Him. And I did. He did other amazing things. Now I am smiling, you see there. I brought my angry, aggressive wife. She didn't know I was a follower of Christ. I couldn't tell her. Very dangerous. But I wanted her to come and see the changes in my life. You don't know what changes I'm talking about. You'll possibly learn from me later. She found me a different person. She was amazed. I was smiling a lot. I was playing with my children. Sometimes I forgot she was there. I was singing with joy, music, singing, illegal. She thought that I had gone crazy. In the second week, she asked me, what has happened to you? That terrified me. In my entire life, I didn't know what it meant to be terrified from your wife. I didn't know that. She was terrified. Even though she was aggressive, oh, I made her life hell. That change I'm talking about. But now I'm terrified. Why should I tell her? She's an aggressive lady. If she understands that I have changed my religion, she knows. Islam says then wife must rule. She's the boss now. What will happen? Minimum, she'll take the children and go back. Imagine for a parent. That's why I was terrified. But I praise his name. I praise his name. I love him so much. This is my gospel. I love him so much. Because I'm a scholar. I really don't buy that scholarship for a penny against his love, against his power. He's the practical God. And he came and he helped me. I told her she was terrified. She terrified me, but she didn't go back. She remained there. Whole lot of stories behind that. Day after day, she found that I was really changed. And then she had a dream too. Her dream was amazing. It was written in the Bible. I brought the Bible and opened the passage, read to her. She was terrified. She cried. I cried. That was the morning she softened her heart toward the Lord Jesus. She didn't give her heart to Jesus, but became soft toward Jesus. And then later on, she gave her heart to the Lord. And the Lord changed the entire family. Put a smile on their faces. And that's the change. The Lord Jesus changes. He's the mighty God. For you only to love him. To love him so dearly. God bless you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Brother Daniel, for sharing your testimony. You need many days with him and you'll hear all the other aspects. The whole puzzle just comes together in a beautiful end result. Smiling, loving, changed, renewed people. And that's a privilege to engage with you. And